by American Bible. Not family, politicians, artists, poets who inspired her to follow her biggest dreams. These dreams grew inside her until, as a young woman, she was on the brink of leaving her home in Mexico to move to the United States. We're going to talk all about it. But I know America Lies is an expert on everything diversity, equity, and inclusion. Welcome to the program. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Hi, Shalom. Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Well, I'm a talent acquisition and diversity, equity, and inclusion leader, and I work to create talent strategies to attract, hire, and retain people out there, especially in this environment nowadays. I also am a community leader, and I work with different organizations in the Hispanic community to create programs to improve the community across the board, different issues, economic issues, society, workplace culture, etc.
That's amazing. Fantastic. Well, congratulations on all of that. So you are in the field of human resources and recruiting. How do you make that transition? How do you get involved? And what are you seeing as some of the challenges that companies are facing now, believe it or not, in 2023 in this world of recruiting? It seems really, really challenging.
It is. Well, I started off in recruiting, many years ago when I was a leader with the Hispanic organization Prospanica, which mission was to serve the Hispanic community, especially the business professionals. And I was already partnering up with different organizations throughout the city and the country, and also partnering with our companies that wanted to work with us. And so the transition to HR and recruiting was seamless. It was a great fit, and I loved it from the beginning. Some of the challenges that I see, again, going back to the racial injustice issues going on, still happening today, unfortunately, is that it's people want to really see companies that are dealing with or addressing those issues. They no longer want to be just with the company for, position, whatever position or status that they may have. But nowadays, people really have, people are interested in joining those companies that have a purpose and helping the community, in helping the workplace, helping the students, helping to launch programs that are going to upskill the workforce out there, with so many skill sets changing nowadays.
America, I've heard that you were just featured in a new book called Today's Inspired Leader. So you are certainly a leader. Your story is very, very inspirational, and I know you are paying it forward by inspiring others. What are some of your thoughts about leadership that you can share with our listeners?
Yes, well, for me, it really came through my family. My parents were educators and artists and poet. My dad is a poet and has published poetry books, and they were always very active and then with the community and with different endeavors, different pursuits. I saw that early on, and then later I was also driven by my own personal interest in doing new things and traveling and going to a different country with a different language and experience the culture. And that really, I had to apply myself to learn, to navigate all those different cultures and new places and language, and finding out, throughout that journey, finding out what I wanted to do, what I wanted to focus on, and really pursuing that, and really learning, applying myself, learning, pursuing what I wanted to do, and networking, especially when I came to Chicago. a new
But
city.
you just said a really important word. You just said a really important word about networking. And I know that not only has the networking really helped you, but right now you are really helping a lot of folks in the Latinx community to see networking as a successful tool. So why do you feel that networking is so important, especially for minority communities? And how have you been able to do that both in person and remotely?
Yes, I figured out early on, especially when I moved to the city, that I had to connect with the right people in the right in places, right environments. Say, at work or in the community, and I made sure to reach out to different folks out there. I asked friends, to introduce me to some companies or other folks that would give me more of a, well, sorry about that. I asked for referrals, I asked for introductions until they gave me some meetings, and I started to getting to know the people. They started to learn about me, and that's what I often encourage people to do, especially, the Latinx folks that may be shy about networking.
That's inspiring. Again, I'm chatting with America Baez, who was recently featured in a new book called Today's Inspired Leader, Volume 4. The series captures the story of local, regional, national, and international male and female authors from different fields sharing their wisdom, knowledge, and positive, encouraging, and personal interpretations of leadership. And that's exactly what we've been hearing. I want to squeeze in a very quick break, but when we come back, I want to talk about some of your efforts in the world of diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, and how you are helping companies develop these groups. I know we've already touched on the HR piece. We've got a lot more to share here on the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. All about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship and my website, charlotteswatson.com. So we've been chatting with America Baez, a truly inspiring Chicago author, DEI expert, who is, again, based in Chicago and is super, super involved in leadership in the Latina talent, attraction, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and also a career coach at that. Wow, that's a lot of hats. So, America, we've been chatting just before the break. We've been chatting about your role in HR recruiting. We've been chatting about your role in leadership in the Latinx community. But let's talk about DEI. How do you help companies create DEI groups and develop strategies to attract talent?
Yes, I work with the companies to assess what they're doing, with their recruiting practices and whether they are actually, inclusive. What they are posting out there, is it inclusive, or is it deterring people from applying to positions? Nowadays, even some companies are posting notes there on their job descriptions, encouraging people to apply, even if they don't feel that they have, all the qualifications. And I see that as a good thing starting to happen, and that's how I help the companies.
That's amazing and inspiring. So I always love to leave our listeners with a takeaway. And if you were to have 30 seconds to tell somebody why diversity, equity, and inclusion is important to have in their company, big or small, what would you tell them?
Companies have to create an inclusive space, especially in the current environment out there. People want to feel that they are working for a company that has a mission and that they support the community and that they hear their employees, and they want to work for companies that are more or that adapt to the new changes going on or the new things going on in the society, and they have to be more open to, the companies have to be more open to introducing new practices and programs to attract, hire, and retain employees.
Amazing. Well, I've certainly learned a lot from our conversation with you. We've talked about a lot of different areas. We've talked about your own story. We've talked about your role in human resources, diversity, equity, and inclusion. and of course the very practical tips about networking, specifically in minority communities, which is great. And the book is called Today's Inspired Leader, and it's volume 4. And you certainly have inspired so many folks, and I'm glad that you're continuing to pay it forward. How can we get in touch with you and learn more about your important work in Chicago and beyond?
Well, I am on LinkedIn. They can reach out to me on through LinkedIn, or also through my website, americabuys.com.
Fantastic. AmericaBuys.com, and we'll link to you through our show notes as well, which of course are available on my website, shalomklein.com, or on your favorite podcast app. America Buys, thank you so much for all you do. I look forward to having you back on real soon. Have a great weekend. Absolutely. Well, again, that's a wrap. So a great conversation with so many amazing, amazing thought leaders, entrepreneurs, amazing folks, including Barbara Dart, where we talked all about, this show has really been all about leadership. We've chatted with Jeffrey Klubeck, Justin Breen. We've talked with the amazing America Buys. What a great lineup. You don't want to miss another episode, so be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share. So you don't miss an episode of the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Be sure to check our sponsors, Tom Mirabali from HealthPlanChicago.com for all of your health insurance needs. But again, all of these episodes available on your favorite podcast app or on my website, shalomklein.com. But again, take time before you step into the office tomorrow morning to set some goals, set some priorities, and make sure you show some appreciation to all those amazing people that have helped you get to where you are at. But that's a wrap for us here this week on Get Down to Business. We'll be back next Sunday on AM 560 The Answer or on your favorite podcast app. To success, let's get down to business.